Hello VeloTour fans and players, this is our first race of the season, the Omloop, with our historical riders. Picking it up with around 53 kilometers to go, we've got a 4-man attack gone up the road. Dag Otto Lauritsen, Chris Boardman, Knut Knudsen, and Alexander Kolodnev. So 2 riders from Bianchi-Campagnolo and 2 from Adidas. This is what we have left of the course, some cobblestones and those sharp cobble climbs at the end. Should see plenty of attacking. An interesting list of contenders today. We have the classic specialists such as Jan Ross and Mark Matteo, and then the sprinters who like a little bit of cobblestones, guys like Eddie Plancart, perhaps Jan Kursipu, Fred Moncassin. A little too lumpy and cobbly for someone like Mario Cipollini or Jamaluddin Abdu-Jabbarov, but we shall see. Here, Zulu Kingdom, they are in the orange jerseys, they're pulling at the front, and I believe those are Evian riders, also looking to do work. They are leaders in this race, Mark Matteo and Gilbert Duclos-Lazao. Plenty of preseason hype for the Evian squad, they're very strong all around. They're not very good sprinters, which may come into play in their title chase, but that's something we'll see unfold as the season goes on. There's Jan Ross in the dark burgundy of Fiat. Fiat owned by Gus, who has really entertained us with his team over the past couple seasons. Peloton just making their way off the cobbled sector, and it appears 2 of the breakaway have been dropped. That's Knudsen, and is that Kolodnev? It is. So 2 of the 4 are gone. Lauritsen and Boardman, they won't stay away in this one, but they'll give it their best try. Only a handful of obstacles before the final big climbs. Peloton just setting a steady tempo. Appears most of the pack is still there. It's Jean-Pierre Donguillon of the Evian squad. They're wearing the light pink colors. See one of the Kelme riders at the bottom of your screen in the light green and white. Bianchi-Campagnolo in the light blue and white. And then Vie Claire, they're in the grayish Mondrian-esque arty uniforms. Very neat design there. Adidas, that was Gilbert you just saw for a millisecond. He's in the white and black colors, and that is the entirety of the Blackberry squad languishing at the back of the race in the green and black. The team as a whole, not a big fan of the cobbles, but watch out for Julien Alaphilippe today. He might be able to get a result. Alaphilippe, he was the number 1 pick in our draft, and we're expecting a big season from him. The number 2 pick was Rudy Altig, who rides for the Kelme squad, another rider who could get something out of today's race, and we'll see a lot of him in the one-day classics. It's a different view of the breakaway. Boardman, a feared time trialist. Not quite a world beater on the road, especially on cobblestones. Reasonably strong rider though. And that's Lauritsen, real specialist of these breakaways. And they're about to get on a little climb called Ten Bosse, which features in many of these Belgian races. And up and over they go. Far from the hardest thing they'll encounter. Apologies for the lack of scenery on today's route. I forgot to turn on the trees and scenery and spectators, and hopefully we'll have that on for the next race. Buran setting a fearsome tempo for Evian. Clearly want to get their men in position. That's Urs Foiler, the sprinter of Fiat. Jan Ross is the sort of rider who is looking to make an attack on these final climbs, that's for certain. The sprinters, they'll just try to hang on, and if things regroup towards the finish, someone like Kursipu, perhaps even this man, Abdu-Jabbarov, they could be a big factor in the fight for victory today. Zulu Kingdom still working at the front. We're getting closer to the Mur de Gramont. It's the first of the 2 climbs. They come back to back. They are both cobbled, and they are both very steep. That's Eddie Plancart, the man that Zulu are working for. See, he's quite strong in the cobbles and in the sprints. Very safe bet for a top finish on today's stage, and here we go on the climb, and that's an attack. It's George Hincapie of Fiat. He's the other card they have to play, and who's that? It's Hushov chasing the attack from behind, and that's probably Ross. It is Ross on the wheel. So Hincapie has started the move. Hushov counters, Ross takes the wheel, and now Fiat putting the rest of their race to the sword, and that's a big gap they have. Matteo trying to bring it back with Fiat in total control at the moment. They've got their two best men up the road. Hincapie's going to lead Ross into this next climb to Ballsberg, and I think Ross is going to go over the top here. Hincapie, oh, he's cracked. It's time for Ross to make his move. Hushov doesn't look great either. The chase from behind, here comes Matteo. Oh, but Matteo, he doesn't quite have the legs to get that gap closed down, and Ross is still got Hushov, who's yo-yoing off the back, and Ross has had enough of Hushov dangling around. He launches a searing attack. Just under 12Ks to go, and Ross free to fly, nothing but green grass and opportunity between here and the finish. See the gap back to the peloton. Hushov, he's going to get caught. It's Guimard of Vie Claire. A little surprised to see him still here. He's a good candidate in a bunch sprint. Lazao of Evian trying to reel it in, but they don't really have a sprinter for the finish. Should probably be attacking instead of riding pacing at the front. But that's a big gap to Jan Ross. It's 46 seconds. I think this is going to be enough. 6Ks to go. He still looks very strong. And I don't think this is going to come back. Well, in the first race of the season, Fiat, who have had their share of doubters of how they'll perform over a hilly and mountainous set of races this year, they are stepping their authority on the classics in the very first race. A little bit of picture break up there. That might be due to the rain interfering with the satellites, perhaps. And yeah, you can see the chase giving up from behind. Complete disorganization, but Jan Ross, the man of the race today, he got rid of everybody, and he's going to cruise to a big win, more than 1 minute clear and a solo breakaway. Superb ride by the Dutchman Jan Ross. And just look how slow they're going, but they wind it up with sprint. Guimard, Plancart. I think Plancart's going to get second here. He will. Jan Kirsipou third for Adidas, Guimard fourth, and Alaphilippe fifth. And the other attacker, Tour Hushov, he's going to get sixth. So a big bunch finishing together, and the minor placings for just a handful of points for their teams will be sorted out by these riders rolling in. Coming in a few minutes behind, and we'll zoom through for the little stragglers. Looks like Boardman's going to bring up the rear today. But what else can you say about Jan Ross? He was completely unbeatable. He might be quite a protagonist over these cobbled races. This could be the first of several victories, and there's our slow-mo replay of Jan Ross gloriously crossing the finish line. So let's head to the results. Jan Ross with the win, Plancart second, Kirsipou third, Guimard fourth, then Alaphilippe, Hushov. Altig comes in seventh, the number 2 pick for Kelme. Felician Varvaca is 8th for Vie Claire, Bortolami 9th for Bianchi-Campagnolo, and Adriano Baffi is 10th for Fiat. Sylvain Chavanel, good ride, 11th place for Blackberry, then De Wolf, Donens, Gilbert, Lazao, and De Kock rounding out the top 16. So plenty of excitement in the first race. We'll be back for race 2 with Strada Bianca.